Do you want to do the intro?
I don't know what intro we're doing for this.
Hello and welcome to That Shooting Show. My name is Steve Anderson. I am your humble host. Or let's try it this way. Welcome to That Shooting Show. I got Matt. That's where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
You like that better?
This is the new Steel Challenge shooting show.
No, that's not. Well, it can be.
Yeah, well, we're going to do that. That's the thing.
That's in the future.
Yeah, that's
so,
the future thing.
For everybody who doesn't know, this is Matt Adams. Do we want to give the location, the general location of the vault, the city?
Like Richmond, Kentucky.
We live in Richmond, Kentucky.
Yeah.
And so what happened was I've known Matt. How long have we known each? We met in Georgia.
Yeah, a couple years ago. I took your class.
So we met at a bar in
Richmond Hill, Georgia.
And we never met before. And Mark Compton, who is the greatest match director of all time, was organizing a class. And Matt happened to be at the handoff dinner. So what happens is I get to the place and then I get handed off to where I'm going to go sleep. And there's like a handoff. It's like I'm a child with divorce.
Yeah.
I'm getting, you go to the gas station and mommy and daddy switch babies. And that's what happened. And Matt happened to be there.
Well, let's call it the meet and greet. How's that? The pre-class meet
Yes,
and
that's
greet.
what it was.
All
It's also, hang on, nicotine pouch. Hang on.
All right, nicotine pouch.
Causing problems. Zero smoking.
Yep, excellent.
I've quit the cigars as well.
I know, you said that. That's awesome.
Because I was under the impression that not inhaling was a good thing.
Right.
And I literally did not know that the smoke in the mouth does the same thing as the smoke in the lungs. Like, I had no idea.
Yeah, I mean, that's a common thing that people don't understand is that mucous membranes absorb things. Yeah,
make your own jokes. So at that time, my marriage was rocky but functioning. I don't know, did I behave like I was in a bad marriage at that time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you did.
Okay.
I can tell.
All right. So obviously things happened, and I got rehomed a couple times. I was invited to leave the home I was paying for, which it's so funny when you're a man, because you're expected to pay for the things that you don't have access to. And if there's biological children, I 100% get it. Like, I totally get it.
Yep.
But without biological children,
it should just go right back down the middle and be done.
I feel like an unhappy woman should take her toys and go home.
Yeah, 100%.
Without biological children.
I've been lucky. I've been divorced twice, and that's what's happened, even with biological children. I got kind of a little bit lucky. We both just split amicably.
So things happened.
Yep. Shenanigans ensued.
And
overcome.
The third time I was invited to leave the home that I paid for, the third time, I was sitting outside of an Airbnb that I could not check in for 18 minutes. And I was the maddest I have ever been in my entire life. I was mad at myself. I was mad at the world. I was mad at my ex-wife. Like, I was mad. I was mad at the choices I was making. Like, I was fuming mad. And my phone rings. And normally I would not take the call. But I had 18 minutes before I could check into an Airbnb that was going to cost me $300. It was going to cost me $2,000 for a week. So I'm paying for all the household expenses, and now I'm paying for an Airbnb. I'm just paying for everything.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm just paying for everything. Just send Steve the bill, Mm-hmm. And the phone rang, and I see who it is. And I thought, okay, this will either cheer me up or this will like crack the dam. So I answered the phone, and what I hear is, "Hey man, how's it going?" Which sounds like,
"Hey man, how's it going?"
That's what I hear.
What you doing?
Right. And when somebody says that to you, you have a choice to make. Everybody's had a bad day like this. You have a choice to make. Mm-hmm. Do I tell them the truth, or do I pretend everything's okay? And if I had not been sitting in in the Jeep Gladiator that was costing me $800 a month, on top of everything else, if I had not been in that moment at that time, I would have said, "It's going fine, can I call you back?" Or I wouldn't have taken the call.
Yeah.
But I took the call, and I told him everything. I told him everything. And at the end of it, he said, "Look, I really want this to work out for you the way you want it to. I have a feeling that it might not. And that's okay too, right? You can't control the result of this. Here's my address, and I want you to know." You sort of said when, but we changed it to if.
But we also, remember, I hosted your class here, so you'd been here before.
I'd been here, yeah.
Yeah.
And you gave me your address, and you said, if and when this doesn't work out, I need you to come here.
Yeah.
And I believed him.
Mm-hmm.
And I did.
Yeah.
And I've been here, it's been a year now.
Last April.
End of May.
Well, you came here and then went south.
Oh, yeah, then I took off, yeah.
Yeah,
so it's been about a year.
It has been a year.
And we've only had one argument.
We've never had an argument.
We had an argument.
We've never had an argument.
Well, we had a disagreement.
No, we didn't. We can disagree. It's not an argument.
You know what's so funny? I got into an argument with Kita Bussy last night. We were driving and we got into it. We got into an argument, and we had the best argument ever.
Yeah.
Do you want to play the Kita part?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So you're mad.
All right.
You should just be mad.
Okay. Can I swear?
No.
Dang it. Okay.
Okay. So let's say that I spilled coffee on the floor and you're mad.
Dang it, Steve! You spilled coffee on the floor! What are you doing?
Matt, I know that upsets you, and I'm so sorry I did that.
Too bad!
Are you ready to go to a solution, or do you need to vent a little bit
You need to get out and walk.
Okay, I understand how you feel. Mm-hmm. I get it. I know you're upset right now.
Yeah.
Are you ready for a potential solution, or do you need to vent some more?
I need you to get out and walk, and I'm going to drive around the block, and I'll come pick you up when I can breathe again.
That's not how that went down.
I know.
You are a terrible Kita Bussy. All right,
that's most of my arguments with my ex-wives.
So you didn't learn how to argue effectively.
No.
So there's a real art to it.
I know there is.
When you argue with a woman, the only thing that matters is that her feelings are validated.
I know.
And it's super important.
Oh, I know.
She is not ready for a solution until you validate her feelings.
Yep.
Because if you try to solve it too quickly, she feels like her feelings are invalidated.
Yep. Me and my wonderful girlfriend had.
Oh, Jennifer! Hello, Jennifer.
How's it going?
How's it going, Jennifer? Love you.
Yeah,
too.
he can say that.
Brotherly love too.
We have amazing discussions, and then we literally. We'll get a little bit. We won't get heated toward each other. We'll get heated.
She crosses her eyes when you make her mad.
We'll get heated toward the subject, but then all of a sudden we turn it off and it's done.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Gone. Just
really,
over.
really amazing.
Yeah.
Now, so that happened, and things are going great.
Good.
Now, what the people want to know, and I am interested in your perspective.
Okay.
What is it like having Steve Anderson live in your basement?
Well, so are you asking about Steve Anderson the person or Steve Anderson the shooting coach?
So you know what's interesting? You asked me that question a long time ago. You said, what is best for Steve Anderson? And I didn't know.
I know.
Because
I have asked that.
I had not given myself the luxury of that option
You've
in
always
decades.
just been the shooting coach.
Well, that's not true. I've always been the provider.
Yeah.
I've always been the guy who gets the bills. I've always been the guy who takes the situation and takes responsibility for it. Now, that did require me to become a full-time earner. Mm-hmm. Like, I didn't have anything to do but earn.
Right. Well, that's the person I met.
When money is burning, I have to be earning. Like, that's how it works.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, and you're gone too much. Oh, you work too much. Oh, you bring your work. Well, let's move on. Okay.
No, it's fine.
Well, we're not going to hammer on that too much. Right. So, what is it like having? Just start with the basics. Assume they don't know the difference.
The difference between Steve Anderson and the shooting coach Steve Anderson.
Yeah, what's it like having this human being in your basement?
So, Steve Anderson's one of the nicest, most giving humans you'll ever meet. As a person, he's amazing. So the crazy part, though, is that he and I are literally the same person.
Are you jiggling right now? You're like a child.
No,
look, Mom, I'm on the television.
Look, no, this is how I don't do this.
It's a fine point of distinction.
Yeah, no, I do this. So there's that. So no, it's like you are a great person. I've always told you that. I'm like, dude, it's like it's not you as a person. Yeah, you have your faults, and yes, it contributed to whatever you went through. Yeah. But it's nothing you can't overcome because it's not who you are deep down.
Right.
So we talked about that, and you have proven that because you and I hang out like we're literally the same person.
We are making the movie Step Brothers every day.
Yeah, pretty much.
We have literally all this. Look at all this room we have for activities.
Yeah, except we don't try to fight and kill each other and bury each other in the backyard.
I think we just became best friends.
Yeah, you want to go do karate in the garage?
Yeah, well, I can't. I'm all crushed out.
Yeah.
We can play guitar though.
I got Tiny Tim.
How many guitars do we have in the parlor?
A lot. And how many in the whole house? You got 4 down here.
There's probably
at least 6 more.
15 guitars in the house.
Yeah, there's a lot.
And do you feel comfortable estimating the number of firearms that are in this room?
A lot. That's a good estimate. A
lot. Well, I mean, people can see. Like, what you can see is not 10% because there's big guns on the wall.
Yeah.
The shelf that is in front of us here is covered. Do you have a favorite one you want to show?
Oh, it's my 1911 that I just put amazing
Go
grips
get
on.
it.
All right, I'm going to go get this.
Go get it.
All right, so you entertain the crowd. I'll be right back.
So, like, I know that people that are watching this program have seen the evolution in me. I know that you heard me when I was struggling, and I know that you heard me when I found light in my life or the light of my life. You guys were there when I found it. So when people say things like, what's gotten into Steve Anderson? Like, look at my podcast studio now. Like, I went from having a home and a shooting range on my property, right? And I thought that was where I needed to be. Like, I thought that was it. And then the funny thing about divorce from a man's perspective is that the man tends to lose everything. That's just the way it works. And we're not going to get into my opinion on that. However, the man tends to lose everything. Now,
I don't lose anything.
Because I lost everything. Well, I lost my everything but my ability to work. Okay? Because I lost everything, I was essentially homeless for about 3 months. I was living in cheap hotels. I was living in Airbnbs. I was on the road. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, for about 4 months, I was in a hotel room trying to do something. And then what happened was I was in this habit of drinking myself to sleep. And then somebody told me, I don't think it was you, but somebody said, hey, Steve, killing yourself slowly is still killing yourself.
I didn't say that, but I said, hey, we need to do something different.
Yeah.
You're drinking a bottle of vodka every night. Like, let's start with stopping that.
And I remember the day I realized that, I woke up and went to the airport, and people were treating me differently, and I wasn't sure why. And then I went to the bathroom. I noticed I had blood all over my entire face.
Ew.
From drinking too much and knocking into a wall.
Oh, God, yeah.
And I didn't know it. Like, I'm a pretty clean, pretty neat guy. What are the odds of me leaving the house with blood on my entire face?
Without looking in the mirror.
Right.
That was weird. Now, you didn't tell me that.
Right.
Yeah.
So, when I got back from that trip, I was doing a little bit better, but I had this habit of turning my hotel room into a cavern in the darkness of Fortress of Solitude. And I'd pull the drapes shut, and I'd use the pillows, and I'd make a little fort with the blanket, and I'd sleep as long as I could. Matt, I don't think I was living here that day.
You weren't. No, you were in a
Not
hotel.
yet.
No, you
I wasn't
were
living
not.
here yet. So he called me one day, and he goes, it was like 11:30. He goes,
Afternoon.
he goes, what are you doing? I was like, oh, I'm up and working. He goes, no, you're not. You're in bed, and you got the blinds shut, and you're hiding behind the pillow so it's dark. And you said something to the effect of, when are you going? No, you said, what's your name? Remember that?
Yeah. But yeah, roughly, I remember the conversation. Because I do remember calling you.
We've had a lot of those.
Yeah, and you were asleep in the middle of the day, and I don't remember exactly what I said, but I do remember giving you that talk.
You remember asking me my name?
Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah.
I said, my name's Steve Anderson.
Yeah.
He goes, how many Steve Anderson things have you done today? And I said, none. And you said, can you maybe do some Steve Anderson things today? And I said, yeah. Because going to self-image. So we'll take this to shooting for just a second.
Sure.
When an A-class shooter has a bad match or a bad stage, he tends to reduce himself to zero in his pursuit of the solution. Right? Oh my God, I screwed the pooch today. I'm worthless. So you're still an A-class shooter that made a mistake. So you need to remain an A-class shooter that has made a mistake, not reduce yourself to zero. The mistake I made was I reduced myself to a homeless alcoholic.
Right. That I do remember.
That's how I was living.
Yep.
That's what I was becoming.
I know.
And if I'd maintained that, I would have started missing classes. I would have started missing phone calls. I would have neglected to do podcasts, and I would have become the way that I was living. That's my point. Yeah.
Yeah, you just died. I mean, because that's what happens when you go down the road and you don't stop.
And I'm behaving irresponsibly. I'm staying in bad neighborhoods, right? I'm driving places, times I shouldn't be driving, in a condition in which I shouldn't be driving. But Matt helped me make my improvements from Steve Anderson instead of zero. And I want to thank you for that from the bottom of my heart.
Dude, my pleasure. I'm glad you're here.
I am too.
Yeah.
All right, show them your gun.
It's been fun.
Sorry, show them your firearm.
Yes, it's a firearm. Excuse me. So this is as you can see, there we go. It's clear. So this is a Deep River Customs 1911 from Florida. Deep River Customs out of Florida. It's 9mm. They make an amazing gun. It is killer. I did some shenanigans. Yeah. Yeah. So I did some shenanigans, and I put Valkyrie Dynamics skeletonized grips on this, and then put Wicked Grips grip screws in it, just because. Hey, I mean, come on, it looks cool. Seriously. This gun is
Chicks
so smooth.
dig it.
They do. It's so smooth shooting.
Woo! Point it right at Steve.
Yeah,
just
look, force perspective.
Show me the whole muzzle.
Wait, I'm doing force perspective here where it looks like it's being pointed at you, but it's really not.
All right, nice gun. Walther is the title sponsor of this program. I neglected to mention that. And I want to say it here first. We have just organized a South African trip with the great and mighty Akita Bussey, Her Majesty the Queen herself. We are working out the details, and there will be a podcast tomorrow with Gaz and Shanae and some other top South African shooters where we'll give you more details on that.
Yeah.
So that is going to happen, and that podcast will be tomorrow. So stay tuned tomorrow for that. Now, please tell them, because there are people out there who would like to have Steve Anderson live in their basement.
Yeah.
What's some of the comedy of having Steve Anderson
All
live in
right,
your
so
basement?
so we do the dad joke thing, and that's just like daily conversation. We don't even think about it when we do the that's what she said type jokes. So,
yeah.
We just have a good time eating dinner, hang out, and anytime we want to talk shooting, guitar playing, like it's like just having myself live in my basement.
Yeah.
So the weird part is like it takes a special person to deal with me. So
Same here.
It takes a special person to deal with him. So me like living with myself is like I'm like, wow, this is very interesting. It's like literally walking down talking to myself every day.
And what's really interesting is that when we do something objectionable, we can, like, when you do something objectionable, I can kind of see it myself.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
Like anytime I see something in you that I don't really like, I think, oh, well, I wonder if I'm doing that.
Yeah. No.
And sometimes I am.
Yeah, generally.
Right?
Yeah, it's fine.
And I've also been injured the vast majority of the time I've been here, and I want to thank you for helping me with my injuries.
Yeah.
But so like a typical day from my perspective, okay? Mm-hmm. I'll get up. It depends on what's going on. I'll get up anywhere from 5:30 to 7 in that range. And notice it's not 11 p.m. It's not 11 a.m.
You're up before I am.
I'm up at the crack of dawn.
Yeah.
And
that's good.
Yeah, and I'm working, and I'm not smoking. So it used to be I'd get up, have coffee, go smoke, have a coffee, go smoke, scroll the socials, do those things. I don't do that anymore. Now I get up and I want to work. Like, I literally cannot wait. I'm sure you guys have noticed your emails are getting answered sooner. Things are happening a lot smoother because I am so in love with life. When I got here, I was not in love with life.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna let you die, so you had no choice.
And now I am completely 100% in love with life.
Yeah.
And I just want more of it.
Good.
And by the way,
it's awesome.
Hold that for just 1 second.
Okay, I'm holding it.
Show also sponsored by Bob Schneider. If you love music and poignant lyrics, Bob Schneider's your guy. He's got a song for every mood.
And Steve just got sued.
Why would I get sued?
Because Bob Schneider is like, ooh, look, Bob Schneider sponsors me.
Like, why would he not want to be known?
He wants to be known, but he's like, yeah, I ain't sponsoring it. He might be an anti-gun dude.
At the Cheesecake
What if he's
Factor?
an anti-gun dude?
He might be.
I
said to myself, I want to know who you are. I couldn't get the courage up to say hi.
Are any of these guns loaded?
Yeah, I'm a player, but I'm also shy. Yeah, let me tell you about your boy, baby. I'm 35, got a brand new haircut. It costs $150. Put it on a credit card. Pretty nifty. I got some cash too, born in 82. How about you? That was the 80s. Maybe you can call me by my name, lady. Maybe you can... All right. So that's and then so normally Matt will be upstairs. He'll get up a little bit later, and then I'll hear him coming down the stairs. He comes down the stairs very noisily to alert me that if I'm enjoying privacy, I'm not going to be enjoying privacy much longer. Make your own jokes.
Yeah, no, that's been an issue. Not with me. But with,
Yeah, I live in a common area. You do not.
Well, you got a bedroom.
Oh, I should do private things in the private room.
Yeah,
Got it.
not where contractors are going to walk in.
Moving on.
That was great. And then it was...
On the Bluetooth.
Yeah, seriously.
I thought I was being so sneaky, and they were enjoying the Bluetooth audio of the private moment.
Yes, they were. Because they're like...
So the contractor calls Matt and says, yeah, I met your roommate. He's an interesting guy.
Yeah, it's like, I think I disturbed your roommate, Steve.
All right. And then Matt typically rolls out. Matt's a home inspector.
An engineer.
What
Professional engineer. Don't forget that part.
What is your area of operation?
Kentucky.
That entire state?
Yeah, wherever.
And what, if they're in Kentucky, and what services could you provide in the state of Kentucky?
I just do structural damage and failure analysis evaluations, and then pre-purchase or pre-sale home inspections.
So any sort of traditional home inspection?
Yeah.
That's your jam?
Yeah, I know a lot about houses.
And the other one was damage, collapse, injury?
Well, no, damage and failure analysis on structures.
Kind of what you did to me. Damage and failure analysis on structures.
I guess I could translate that to people too. Because remember, like you are one of at least 3 people that have come through this door that have had issues.
Matt's home for wayward bachelors.
Yeah, pretty much.
Matt's also an empath, and I was not allowing myself emotion. And one of the first things he did to me was he has pushed me to face things. So I'm a big time compartmental. And guys, this is going to get into shooting, I promise. But I'm a big time compartmentalizer. And I just opened the last box yesterday regarding Rogue.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm kind of out of boxes now.
Right.
All my compartments have been scrutinized.
Excellent.
So that's really good.
Good to hear. That's great.
And,
that is great.
He made me do some things that I was not ready to do. And at times, I thought he was a little heavy-handed and pushed back. And I pushed back against it. But when you made me throw my wedding ring out the window of my truck, that was like the turning point.
Man, that's, yeah. Sometimes you tell me things that I did and said. I'm like, really? I did that? I was like, okay, yeah, that sounds great. Okay.
So he would check on me every day because I was traveling a lot.
Oh, that's right. You were on the road when I said do
and
that.
he could kind of keep an eye on me, but then I'm gone Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday of every week. I'm gone. So I'm only here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, typically.
Right.
There are exceptions to that. But I was driving somewhere, and he's like, hey, man, how's it going? Like, as always.
As always.
Hey, man, how's it going?
What's going on?
And he can always tell when I'm lying to him. So eventually I quit lying, and I would just tell him the truth.
Yeah. That's just tell me.
He would allow me to be hopeful, but also he would hit me with some realism. And the other thing that on that same call, you said, okay, what if it does work out? Is that really what's best for you?
Ugh, yeah, I remember that too.
And then that was the time you made me throw my wedding ring out the window.
Yep. Yeah.
And so, let's get into shooting.
Okay.
And by the way, evenings are interesting. Evenings are crap TV and adult beverages in a much smaller quantity.
Not for me.
And then sometimes we play guitar.
Yeah.
We can play at least 2 songs all the way through now.
Yeah. Sounds great too.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
And then, so last night we watched Grease and then I fell asleep.
He passed out flat cold.
We're gonna finish. You
were so tired.
So tired.
You came in from an 8-hour trip. You had one sip and then you were gone.
Yeah, it was bad.
I'm gonna go get a beer. I'll be right back. Start with the shooting stuff.
All right. So Matt is primarily a steel challenge shooter, and the interesting thing about having Steve Anderson live in your basement is Matt is really interested in 2 things. Well, more than 2 things. But check this out. Matt likes to play guitar and shoot guns. And drink beer. Now, what are the odds? What are the odds of a guy who wants to play guitar and shoot guns winding up with Steve Anderson living in his basement? Because I do those things. I do those things on a professional level.
Well, that's what I said. It's like, remember, I've always said that we are like living parallel dimensions that just happen to have collided. That when I walk down, I ask him this question. It's hilarious because it really is actually thought-provoking. What if Steve is a manifestation of me that I'm talking to, but he doesn't exist actually on my plane, and I don't exist on his plane?
And like at the end of the movie, it's revealed that only one of us lives here.
Right.
Wow. Well, I wonder which one.
I don't know. What if? Oh, dude, we could go so far down the road on that. That's crazy.
All right, so
let's hear it.
I'm going to take some liberties regarding you as a shooter, and I'm going to be as respectful as possible.
That's fine.
Okay?
Yep.
So,
you ain't gonna offend me.
As a shooter, Matt was laboring under the old dogma of shooting, right? Decades old. This is what we know about shooting. I'm going to look at my mistakes. I'm going to examine my failures. And when I get up on a line, I'm going to think real hard, and I'm going to do everything perfectly.
Okay.
And you were kind of doing some of that.
Yeah. A little bit.
You know,
I'm as an engineer, I'm pretty analytical though.
Right.
And I've never really let things get me down and
That's true.
go into a downward spiral.
That's very true. Well, in competition you have.
Yeah, you're right. But
Not as a person, but at matches.
What you said, though, I'm really good at protecting my self-image.
You are very good at that.
Yeah.
Now, however, I don't think you're as good as you think you are.
Okay.
Now, so what I mean by that is self-image is not self-esteem.
Right.
Self-image is not ego. Right? Self-image is your opinion of your skill.
Yeah, I got you.
So even though you're still happy and you still feel like a good person, you feel like, as I remember the months of flinch. Do you remember we had months of flinch?
Sure.
And what he would talk about is we'd be down here dry firing. Hold that, please, for just a second. He'd be down here dry firing, and he'd go, I just cannot get rid of this flinch. My firing hand tenses up, and I can't get rid of it no matter what I do. That was like a month.
Yeah, well, it's longer than that.
Yeah.
Way longer than that.
And then, so, because Matt is so smart, he likes to solve his own problems. And it took me a while to learn that about you.
Oh, really?
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 Well, you've got Steve Anderson living in your basement.
Yeah, but
most,
it should be obvious.
I know. But, so, like, if we were talking about anything else but shooting or playing guitar, I would let you find your own solution. But I've done the work for you.
I know.
Like, I've solved the problem. And I know the answer.
Yep.
But you like to get there on your own way.
You're right, and that's one very important point.
Sorry, my compression sock is itching terribly.
Do you want to?
No. Ooh, like a front sight. If I could can I use the front sight to scratch my leg?
No, gross. Jesus. I don't want nasty dead skin and body cheese on my front sides. It's like when I go to
You're not going to use it anyway.
Yeah, well, maybe. You don't know. When I bring that thing up, I don't want like a clump of body cheese on my front side.
You know what's really amazing? Your guns are going to be less valuable now.
Because of front body cheese?
No, because the sights are used.
Oh, you know what? You're right. They have been used.
They have been used
I've
now.
been using them way more.
I know.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the conscious control of speed. You were doing that.
Oh yeah, 100%. Still.
Negative imprints during training and competition. You were doing that.
So I'm really good at dusting off negative imprints.
I know, but you're still accumulating them.
Okay.
You think you're dusting them off is they're still there.
Okay, gotcha.
That's what I want. That's what you've understood. Now, you starting to use the journal has made you a changed shooter.
Okay, I agree.
Right?
Yeah. No.
And Matt was just like me. Matt resisted it.
And I didn't resist it.
You did.
So the thing is
tell them why you resisted it.
Because I like to solve problems. I like to push as far as I can first and figure everything out and then ask for help.
No, but the journal specifically, why did you resist it?
Because I was lazy and didn't want to write.
Uh-huh.
That's literally it.
That's exactly right.
It's not that I didn't believe it would work but what I will tell you, I will absolutely 100% admit that when I read back through that journal and see what I'm doing, I'm like, yeah, I remember doing that and it felt awesome. See, I remember that. And what that does is it brings back the feeling and then it brings back the process.
Preach it, brother. I'm listening.
See?
Get behind the pulpit. It's Sunday morning.
I know.
You're supposed to keep preaching.
Okay. So, yeah,
I will read from the book of Steve.
Okay, you read from the book of Steve.
Okay. All right.
Wow, yours is way more organized than mine. Mine's a freaking chicken scratch.
So I haven't been dry firing, so mine has a lot of really private life stuff in it, which is good too.
Yeah.
Because I'm learning so much. Like just yesterday, check this out. Keita and I had a very bad. Well, it wasn't a bad. It was actually the best argument ever. And I learned that even if I make a mistake, I'm still entitled to respect.
Yeah.
I did not learn that until I was yesterday.
Okay.
Like I thought, if I make a mistake, I deserve whatever's coming to me.
So I hope that you've never felt that way around here.
I feel like that all the time.
Okay. Well, I never meant to.
No, it has nothing to do with you.
Right.
It's with me.
Right. Yeah.
So, like, for example, if I'm in a store and I break a glass and the shop owner comes out and completely overreacts.
Yeah.
A week ago, I would have said I had that coming.
Yeah.
Today, I'd say, look, I broke your glass. Here's your money, but I will not be spoken to like that.
Exactly.
Do you see the difference?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't learn that until yesterday.
Interesting.
Right.
Cool. All right. Good.
Right.
All right.
And it took a really great argument with a very smart woman to learn that.
Cool.
It was like, this was like the argument would have been the template for marriage counseling. Obviously, we're not married or anything of the sort.
Yeah.
But this is what you would learn in marriage counseling. It's fantastic.
Awesome.
So I think Keita and I are going to start giving marital advice to shooters.
You should.
I think we will.
And the first thing is hey, don't let your boyfriend give you shooting advice. That's the first thing you should talk about.
I mean, that depends. Okay.
In general.
It depends on the dynamic.
Yeah.
Okay. My objective: daily dry fire, location, bedroom, conditions, warm.
Stanky.
Design and execute core steel challenge dry fire drills. Mental system 98%, technical system 98%. So my objective was within my control.
Yeah.
The only thing I had to do to be successful was design and execute steel challenge dry fire drills.
Sure.
So easy, right? I'm guaranteed to be successful.
Yeah.
So when you define success ahead of time, you will be successful.
Yeah.
If I had just wrote mess around with the gun for 30 minutes, right, I might not have been successful.
So when I throw darts, I set little mini goals for myself, and then when I achieve them, it doesn't take. I don't care how long it takes, but I eventually get there. I'm like, perfect, moving on.
That's the power of a today goal.
Yes. Yep, I got it. I understand 100%.
And I don't know what would be a long-term goal in darts, but in shooting, it's so simple. Like, if my first shot's at a 120, sure, I want an 80 or a 90, but that might not be a today goal.
I don't know about darts, but I just like to have little mini goals to show what that does. It shows I'm improving incrementally.
Let's use the right language. What are those?
What are what?
Those thoughts of ability. What are they called?
Self imprints.
Yes.
Yes, I do positive imprints. And when I hit that positive imprint, I stop and move on and let that be the last thing on the top of the filing cabinet.
So smart. Now, I want to ask you a question.
All right, that's why.
Did you ever think that mental management was a thing that you could opt out of and have it not apply to you? Like something you could choose to participate in or not participate in?
No, there didn't really ever have a thought on that one way or the other because I didn't know what it was. And then when you brought it up, I was like, okay. See, the thing is I understand like the mental game in most things. So I really want to get into it. But see, I've always told you, I'm what I call a slow burn.
You're choosing to be a slow burn, but that's okay.
Well, for me, my process has always been I beat things to death with a hammer. And then once they crack, I find out what really works. And it takes a long time. Like as a pitcher in high school, like as a freshman, I had a really good fastball. I was a little weak and a little slow. I broke my leg as a sophomore. But when I had a full cast on, and so as soon as I could walk with that full cast, I was out there pitching and landed on that leg. And then junior,
That's passion.
Well, junior was kind of like, but senior I and 3 other seniors led us to the second ever regional tournament in our high school history.
Awesome.
Yep, and because I was like, yes, we are doing this.
Now, at that time, you did not know anything about mental management, correct?
Right.
Okay. Did you have skill in high quantity?
Yep.
Did you have strategy in high quantity?
Yep.
Did you have confidence in high quantity?
Yep.
That's mental management.
I know.
So that's the very fine point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, sure.
There are for sure athletes that can be very successful not knowing mental management.
Yeah.
But those 3 pieces, skill, strategy, confidence, that's mental management.
Yeah.
Laney didn't invent it. Laney identified it and learned to hack it.
Well, then there's the whole term unconsciously competent.
Yes, unconscious competence.
So that is what.
That was you playing baseball.
That's me doing everything.
Home inspections.
Not
inspection. Driving because you're
Disc
terrible
golf.
at that. Disc golf.
Yeah, driving. Okay, fine.
Your favorite song is Rumble Strip.
Yeah, from John Mellencamp, the Rumble
Ain't
Strip.
talking about, hey Matt, get back on the road. Pan up, Matt, get back on the road.
Riding on the Rumble Strip. That's a John Mellencamp song.
Let's just say in this relationship, I do the driving. Let's just call it that.
Which is fine with me because I like to do the drinking. So.
It works great.
It worked great. Super symbiotic.
So did you get in health? Do you have health insurance yet?
Yeah, actually I do. I've got the Obamacare health insurance, which is fine.
So that's great. We don't need to get married now. It's wonderful. All right. Today, so this is under what I did and what I learned.
All right, here we go.
Today, I learned my surrender is sheer fire. That's my surrender draw. And subconsciously reliable. What that means is it is fire and it is reliable. So that means I don't have to worry about it.
Yep, 100%.
Because I just stated it's fire and reliable. It's fire reliable.
Yeah.
And the quiet eye is very helpful. Today I learned that I can get my support hand on the gun sooner. Now that's very important. I didn't learn that I should or that I can't or that I didn't. I learned that I can.
Okay.
So my thought about the weak hand on the gun, I can get it on sooner.
Okay.
Not I'm not or I didn't. right?
Yeah, no, I got you. You
can.
can.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Today I learned I can hear a .5 part time and beat it with rimfire.
So I understand where you're coming from. You're like not like what you're doing is you're not stating these things as problems.
Right.
You're stating these things as potential opportunities to improve.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right. Diagnose and delete.
Yeah.
Diagnose the problem, delete the problem.
Yeah.
In your marriage, how much time did you spend talking about the problem?
Oh, all of it.
How much time did you spend talking about the solution?
0 of it.
Right.
Well, actually, some of it, but I was just talking into a black hole. So no, stop. No, just don't. No, don't because no.
I've met her and she is lovely.
She is. She's a wonderful woman, and I sent her your podcast today, by the way.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, because she's wanting to try to start shooting. So
Under what I did, the ex is wanting to start shooting?
yeah.
Oh, cool.
Well, she's been shooting. And,
I wonder if her and Jennifer will team up on Team Matt. Probably not.
I don't know. I don't think.
I'm sure they get along
anyway,
just fine.
Whatever. Different.
Today
podcasts.
I had 99% great draws. Today I shot 2 plates in 1.4 seconds repeatedly by letting them be subconscious. So I'm going to the match having just shot 99% great draws.
Okay. So Steve, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Why only 99%?
Because it wasn't 100%.
Well, then where's that last 1%? Steve, what are you doing with that last 1%? Did you go to the bathroom while you're trying to draw a gun?
99% is awesome.
Is it awesome?
Yes.
Okay, good.
It's amazing.
Awesome. I'm just,
Oh.
that's what.
If
messing with you.
I take a test and I get a 99%,
Yep.
am I 99% right or am I 1% failure?
You're a 1% failure.
Now, unfortunately, that
People
tends,
think that.
Well, that tends to be a slightly more Asian perspective. Generally speaking. It's not racist of it.
Welcome to that racist shit.
No! No, no, no! No, no, no!
No, I get it. I
No!
understand.
They're agreeing with, they're right now nodding at the screen because I have the exact same conversation with all of them.
I know.
And it has nothing to do with race, it's culture.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Okay?
I
The
understand.
culture of those people,
I was making a joke.
I know.
Jokey joke.
The culture of those people causes them, in generally speaking, not everybody,
To look at failure.
to see a 1% failure.
Yeah, sure.
So that's another example of a student reducing themselves to 0 when they're actually at 99%.
Perfect.
Right?
Yep. And I love that too. So one of your best examples that I love is like when we're group shooting, for instance. You do a thing where you say where somebody will shoot 4 out of 5 in your 2-inch circle.
It's now a nicotine pouch canister.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then, but then they'll throw one, and they're like, "Well, were you 80% successful, or were you 20% unsuccessful?"
And that brings up the next point. If I have 4 great shots and 1 stinker, which one do I want to study?
The stinker. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously, the 4 great shots.
But that's what people do.
I know.
And that's what you used to do.
I'm 100%. But the thing is, so there is something that used to be not 4 great shots and 1 stinker. It used to be like, why am I throwing shots here and there? And I literally,
Sight or trigger.
it was always trigger. And I learned to diagnose if anywhere I put a bullet. I knew exactly what my hand did to put the bullet there.
Where?
Like let's say if I went low left, I know exactly that I was either like.
That's why it took you so long.
But I understood, and then I corrected it.
I know, but that's why it took so long.
Well,
You were studying your failures.
Oh, okay, I got you. But I had to correct it though.
Right, but you didn't study the correction.
But there was not. Oh no, I was studying
No,
correction.
you
as I
weren't. With
went.
all due respect, you know I love you.
Yeah.
You were becoming an expert in the problem. That's why you had flinchitis for 6 months.
Okay.
Because you were studying flinchitis.
Okay,
You understand it now.
I understand. Yeah.
But and here's the deal: 99.9% of shooters do exactly what you do.
Yeah.
Because that's the way the culture is.
Yeah.
Right? Let's say so like when you were teaching me how to shoot rimfire rifle. I ignored every mistake that I made. Remember that?
Yep.
All I asked is, what do I need to do to be successful?
Yeah.
That's all I asked. When I asked my brother Dave, how do I throw a hatchet? He says, well, don't do this and don't do that and don't go over here and don't go over there. I'm like, as soon as you're done talking, I have a question for you. And I said, Dave, what do I need to do to be successful?
Sure.
Release it here. When you throw a hatchet, you want to release it here. That's too late. You want to release it right over your shoulder. And it hits every time.
That's interesting.
very
We'll have to talk about that.
It's
'cause
very
I like throwing
counterintuitive.
stuff.
We can call Dave Dick and he'll tell you how to do it.
Yeah, I like throwing stuff.
Okay.
I've got knives and hatchets.
Now, we're here to talk about the journal.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, anyway.
You and I have something in common.
Lots of
We
somethings.
resisted the journal. And that's because we were lazy. We're both very smart, so we thought we could outsmart it.
Okay.
And we just didn't want, and we hate paperwork, right? Like, this is dumb.
That is probably the 1 and 3 are probably the biggest ones for me.
But what's really interesting, is there 1 and 3 are the biggest ones for me? Okay, doesn't matter.
There's no joke in there.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Oh, we should do the joke test later.
Which is?
The guinea pig and the
lab rat.
Yeah, we'll do that at the end.
Except you're gonna mess around with it and make it sound like you came up with the actual joke when I'm the one.
What about factory tent? Probably should leave that one alone.
Yeah, leave that one alone. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no.
I mean, if you think about women and the colors.
No. Let's not.
Let's just say some people prefer factory
That's
tent.
a private joke.
Okay.
That's amongst us.
Thank
It's
you.
fine.
See, so we resisted it. And then I paid Lanny an obscene amount of money to be certified in mental management. It was worth every penny. Okay, it's such an honor to teach his life's work. But I resisted the journal, and then I was examining the files so I paid so much money. It's the most money I've ever paid and not driven a vehicle home. That's how much money I paid. Like, it's a nice used car cost. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, you told me about that.
And I was going through the files. I got 5 days with Lanny, and then I got a bunch of files. And I'm looking through them, and one of them says the real secret to winning. And I was thinking, if Lanny Basham just sold me the real secret to winning, why did he not tell me about it? Mm-hmm. So I opened it up, and I listened. And it was Troy Basham talking about the journal. And that's when I became a believer.
Okay.
And so right after that, I had my range down, and I took a production gun that I hadn't shot in months. Mm-hmm. And I set up 0901 6 and 6 challenge.
Okay.
And I shot it cold. Mm-hmm. And I shot a master class score.
Okay.
And then so I got my journal out, and I wrote what I did and what I learned. Today I learned I am still a great iron sight shooter. Yeah. Because I learned that.
Yeah.
Okay?
All right.
Remember, the whole purpose of this is to build positive, confident thoughts of ability.
To me, the whole purpose is to have a place to put that feeling when you do the right thing.
Of course.
And then you open it up.
We gotta use the right words, Matt. Positive imprints.
Yeah, but when you open it up, all that comes flooding back.
Right. But you gotta use the right word.
Yeah, well.
Positive imprints.
All right, positive imprints.
Because if you tell me to use my chakra, I don't know what that means.
Okay, good. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Positive imprint.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm so picky about the language. I shoot
Sure.
my best when I'm not thinking I don't care. Well, what does that mean?
Yeah.
If you don't know what it means, you can't duplicate it. Here's the best test. Give me like some good hillbilly mental game shooting advice. Something a farmer would tell you.
Nothing. It's like, boy, go get the freaking gun, kill that freaking goose.
There we go. Okay. Boy, get that gun and kill that goose. So let's say you're at Nationals, stage 1, and you're freaking out.
Okay.
Steve, what do I do? And I said, boy, get that gun and shoot that steel. Does that help you?
Actually, it probably would. Because it would reduce me to the simplest thought process.
Okay, so
actually, it might.
That means you know what that means.
Yes. There. Right.
Right? That was your wisdom, and you know what it means.
Yeah.
I'll give you some examples. Let it flow. Become the water. Just do it. Like, these are things that don't mean anything.
I understand what you're saying. To me, it does. Those would mean things, but to
not if you're freaking out on stage 1.
99% of the people, no.
Not if you're freaking out on stage 1.
Okay.
If I say, Matt, just do it, and that's it, hang up. Matt, just do it. That has not helped you in any way.
So the thing is, you never know because thing right
Matt,
there.
You're trying to outsmart it.
All right.
Okay, let's try again.
Okay.
You know how nervous you used to get.
Yes.
You're in that state.
Horrible.
You're worried about the flinch, right? And you call me, Steve. What do I do? Matt, be like the water. Click.
I would. You know what that would do though. So what?
You're just you're lying to yourself, buddy.
No, but listen.
It's not going to help you.
If you said that, I would step back and be like, what does that mean? But it would take me out of a mental space.
I disagree.
I think for me, it would take me out of a mental space.
Oh, okay.
And put me in a different one.
Only if you trusted me 100% and thought it was good advice.
And I subscribe to your stuff, and obviously I do.
All right, let's try it again.
Okay.
Let's say some random stranger comes up to you and you're nervous, and he goes, "Give him hell, buddy. Grip it and rip it." Does that help you?
No.
No. That's the point I'm trying to make. Okay. Most of the things people say about the mental game don't mean anything.
Right, I get it. Yeah, I understand.
They just don't.
Yeah.
Now, in the example of grab your gun and shoot the goose, that was your example, and that means something to you.
Well, I just made it up, but yeah.
No, but it was your example.
Yeah.
So it means something to you.
I just made it up.
Quit arguing with me on my own show. It makes me insane.
I know
you don't get to do that.
It's the best thing ever. So funny.
This is what it's like. Okay. This is what it's like
with him.
We started this, what it's like living with me. Now we're going to flip it. What's it like living with Matt? This SOB, he will do anything in the world except agree with me. He will make up words. You'll make up words. You'll leave the room. You'll change the subject to avoid agreeing with me on shooting, mental game, and
guitar playing.
Guitar playing.
Yeah, guitar
You can be right about how to use the frickin' air fryer, where the trash bags go, whether I put the fan on in the bathroom and shut the door appropriately to avoid ruining the entire day. You can be right on everything.
Generally does that.
You can be right on. I never claimed my S didn't stink.
Uh-huh.
I never made that claim.
Yep.
I never claimed my shot didn't stink.
Well, your shot.
My shot didn't stink.
Oh, that's okay.
SH, you know.
Uh-huh.
But okay, you can be right on all of that. But you finally agreed with me against your will to listen to me on the journal. Now I want you to read from yours.
Okay, awesome.
Please and thank you.
And so, by the way, here's the thing. My whole thing, I will always push back against teaching until I get to it in my own words.
Well, you could have told me that.
Well, I figured you'd have figured it out.
You need to tell me that.
No.
If you had said to me, I will instinctively push back, you could have saved yourself a year. You did. Are you kidding me right now?
No, seriously. I will always push back against that.
Why?
Because I
then don't go to an expert. Figure it out yourself. Suffer in silence.
But then
when the man is trying to help you and he's qualified to help you, like, okay, so you're gonna go to the oil change place. And guys like, you're low on oil. You'd be like, screw you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait till I run out of oil. My engine seizes up. Goddamn thing ain't run right since.
Well, that's true. It's true. That's why I don't trust the medical community, for one.
Oh my goodness. Learning that about you is similar to learning about women. Sometimes I just need to vent and I don't want a solution.
Yeah, whatever.
If you had told me I always push back until that would have saved us 8 months of me desperately trying to help you against your will.
You do realize I enjoy the process.
I don't. I enjoy the solution.
I enjoy the process. I enjoy the journey.
Is that why you take a dump for 45 minutes instead of just getting her done?
Oh, it's great. Oh, yeah. Dude, I mean, a gallon of coffee goes in slowly, but it does not come out quietly.
What do you say? A bucket of chum getting dumped in the ocean?
Yeah. A 5-gallon bucket of chum getting dumped in the ocean.
We don't need to make our own jokes. Every right now is mentally.
Yeah, people are losing their stuff. I'm not even sure this is going to be the best podcast.
Oh, it's going to be the greatest podcast ever.
Okay, awesome. I cannot wait. So, What would you like me to read?
Everything, but use the headers too.
Okay, the headers. Take what? Huh?
Read the headers.
Take about 10% off the top
Of the gesturing. That was supposed to be a quiet comment. Bring it down just a notch for me.
Gesturing like this?
Yeah, just read it. You're fine.
What the hell? I'm new to this podcast.
Wait, hang on. Let's try it this way.
Okay.
All right, I'll read out of my journal. Okay. And a little less of that. Okay. 10% less of that.
Oh god.
Remember California? Less of that.
Oh yeah. Well, they're freaking communists. So whatever.
Okay.
Just
read out of the journal.
Okay. You can edit that out. It's fine. All right.
There's no editing.
So.
Just read it.
What, you want me to read my first entry or the most recent entry?
I want you to wait. Which one we did?
The first entry is 2023.
Okay, so start there. Read the whole thing.
Okay, so this is Kentucky. The event is Kentucky State Steel Challenge in 2023. This is when I thought.
Just read. Read.
Okay.
Please.
Blah, blah,
Thank
blah.
you.
Conditions: sunny. Objective: pull the trigger appropriately. See my sights.
Okay. Pause right there.
Okay.
that is an objective within your control.
Yep.
Now, we probably didn't write that before we went to the match, or did we?
I don't remember.
I don't
this
think
is
we
like
did.
3 years
I know.
ago. It's fine.
Oh,
It's
then-
2023, man.
Okay, so let's go to when I started helping you.
That's
this
new.
This is the one.
Yeah, well, that's why I literally asked you. So, all right, cool. All right, so Montgomery County Fishing Game Club Steel Challenge. That's my local club. Mount Sterling. Conditions: cloudy, windy, cold. Did well despite conditions. All right, objective: ignore the timer. Shoot in accuracy mode. Excuse me. What happens? I'm drinking beer.
So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to spit out my water, and he's going to yell at me for getting water on the floor.
No, the floor, my guns. I don't care about the floor. It dries.
Please continue.
All right.
Hang on, I got to get the Bob Snyder T-shirt in full effect. Here we go. Here we go.
All right.
I got out of the truck last night, and he says, "Where's the rest of you?" That was so awesome. Remember that?
Yeah.
I got out of the truck, and you're like, "Hey, man, where's the rest of you?"
Yeah.
The rest
You've great. You've done great.
I'm really
You've
good.
done great.
Thank you.
So
proud of myself.
percentage of time I ran my mental system correctly, 50%. Percentage of time I ran my technical system, 50%.
Now, those seem like low numbers, but there's good news coming.
Okay. Oh, maybe in this one. I will have to see. I don't remember this.
That's why we need to be reading on a regular basis.
I do read it. I just forgot.
Okay, stop right there.
Okay.
That's an example, and I'm so sorry, but people are learning from this. Okay? The purpose of the journal is so that you don't forget. Now, you're in the phase of writing.
Yeah.
You may not be in the phase of going back periodically and rereading.
Well, I reread it today when I wrote, and so yes, you're right.
Right.
100%.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Oh my goodness, he agreed with me. What time is it? It is 4:54 EST, and Matt Adams agreed with. I'm going to write that in my journal. You got a pen?
You should. Yeah, right there.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I got to write down the thing about your learning style too.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Okay. Anyway, so what I did today and what I learned. Today I learned, and yes, learned has a T in it, but anyway, whatever. I shot my best when I treat every shot the same and ignore the timer. I also learned that I am faster than I think, and I don't have to try to be fast. I see a precise sight picture for every shot, no matter what. Okay. You want me to keep going?
Yeah.
Excuse me, sorry. Okay. I am looking for a solution to getting better at controlling my thoughts. What I did well today.
So let's go back to that for a second.
Okay.
So I'm looking for a solution to you only use if you have a problem that you can't solve.
Yeah.
I allowed you that, so you're thinking about solutions.
Yeah.
So what is the solution to getting better at controlling your thoughts?
You got to find a singular focus that you can always go back to. That is actually easy to go back to.
Sure. I would also recommend that a person can practice controlling their thoughts away from the gun, away from the range.
Yeah.
So you control your thoughts at work all the time.
No.
Yes, you do.
I literally do not.
You do.
You'd be shocked.
Do you say wildly offensive things to clients when you meet them for the first time?
You'd be shocked.
Matt.
You-
Do you when you meet a client for the first time, do you say wildly inappropriate things?
Well, so I don't say wildly offensive things to anybody.
That's it. Then you can't control your thoughts.
Oh, well,
That-
and that's the other thing I did learn the other day. I did learn it. Yes, I can control my thoughts.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, no, I learned that recently within the last couple of
And
sessions.
this is the funniest part. Like, I can do this, and he just laughs at me. Like, Anderson's having an... And do you realize
I feel like I'm gonna fall off my stool.
this only happens because I care so much?
I know. It is
If I
fun.
didn't care, I would just let you continue to labor
I
on these
know.
misconceptions.
We're not laboring. We're doing great. No, I've last couple of sessions, I have learned to control my thoughts.
Remember your pressure points, Captain. The point I'm trying to make is you do it in other areas of your life.
Yeah, I got you.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
I understand.
Everybody controls their thoughts in other areas of their life.
And you know that I'm sitting here with just a taser, just doing this the whole time.
I
Right?
really wish you wouldn't, because people are trying to learn from this.
They are.
Now, you are doing a fantastic job representing every shooter in the world who's labor under misconceptions.
Yes.
So for that, you're like becoming my FUD.
I know.
Oh, Anderson, you're telling me to just get myself participate, pat myself on the bottom, get a little pink bow, and have a unicorn spooting rainbows out of my
But
butt.
I'm also showing that I have moved on beyond that and learned from from it.
That's why we're here.
So that's my whole point. It's
beautiful.
It's like I'm kind of playing a little game, so you gotta let me do my thing.
You're doing that on purpose too. You do know.
How
that
long have you lived with me?
Because I take people's words at face value, and I would never do that to somebody.
But the whole point is like what I'm trying to do is show you that I have learned and grown.
Because I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, I know, and I appreciate it. And I appreciate it.
You're like my little three-legged dog that didn't know he's got 3 legs, and you're going to get in the ball.
And I'm going to crush it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
My whole point is let me say this because I don't want you to be offended.
I'm not offended.
I'm not discarding your teachings.
I understand.
I am trying to tell you.
I know what you're doing.
I
learned that Matt always pushes back on teaching until he can put it in his own words. Like, I know that now.
You told me that months ago.
Yes, but I didn't know you were intentionally pushing back.
I always do because I have to figure it out in my own words.
I didn't know it was intentional.
Oh, it's always intentional.
That's the part I have a problem with. That's the part I didn't know.
Yeah. It's not a discarding your methodology.
Because here's the thing. If I go to a guitar teacher, why would I you were getting it for free. That's why you pushed back. You couldn't afford. If I was charging you $500 an hour, how long would you push back?
All the time.
For $500, how many hours? No. Listen to me for just 1 second, please. I'm begging you.
Yeah, sure.
At $500 an hour, how many hours are you going to push back?
So let me tell you.
I need a number.
But let me explain.
I just want a number.
So
give me the number.
How many classes have I taken of yours?
6.
And no, not 6. But anyway,
will you please answer my question?
I would always push back.
At $500 an hour, how many hours are you going to push back?
Always.
Give me a number.
Until I figure it out.
Give me a number.
All the hours.
No, I want a number.
I don't know numbers.
Matt, please, this is important.
12 hours.
Okay, so you're going to spend $6,000 pushing back.
Yep.
You're going to keep going, and you're going to keep arguing for $6,000.
I take the hard path every time.
I don't think you would do it.
I do.
I think you'd quit going.
No, I literally do because
I know what you do. My point is, in that example specifically, you're going to push back for $500. Are you really going to get in your wallet for when you're at $3,500 and continue to push back?
Well, how many times?
No?
Yeah, 100%. That's what I do.
Then I'm going to start charging you by the hour because I can make a ton of money.
You live here.
Oh. Viewers, listeners, you know the point that I'm trying to make.
Yeah, well, everybody does.
Okay? You would not, nobody here would go to Lanny Basham for $500 an hour. He says, do a journal, and you'd say no. And then you go back. Did you do a journal? No. Here's $500. You do your journal? No. Here's $500. Nobody would do that.
We know somebody that does that.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
So here's the thing. Let me tell you. So I've taken your class 4 or 5 times. And I've taken like Tim Herron's class 3 or 4 times.
Don't read that out loud, but that is actually happening. You can't read that.
I can't fucking read that. Sorry, I said the words.
I know. So. You get a pass, 1 pass.
Yeah, 1 pass.
Then we have to cancel. Go ahead, continue.
I have taken Tim Herron's class 3 or 4 times. But the thing is, so what I do is I take all that information, all the teachings, and I put it in this box, and I put it in these folders. And I'm like, okay, here's what they said. Let's go try this out. Let's work on this. It doesn't just magically occur because somebody told me to do something.
But it could if you would.
Well, not for everybody. I don't feel like that works for everybody. I feel like that some people have to actually work through things.
Maybe.
And they do. Because I did. Because I can't just, you say, oh, just do this. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm having a hard time seeing my sights on transitions, so I need to work on seeing my sights on transitions.
In that specific example, with all due respect, no, you don't. You need to choose.
Couldn't. I literally couldn't.
You were choosing not to.
No, I was
not.
Dude,
I have coached you for hours. When you decide to be successful, you are nothing but successful. The rest of it is BS.
Okay. All right. But anyway, the big picture.
Okay.
Big picture.
I'm going to try to help.
Big picture. So the thing is like it's like even moving up through high school playing baseball, my coaches said he's uncoachable.
I agree with that.
So until I got to my senior season, when my coach, I would like look to the sidelines to see what he wanted me to do, and I would do that because now I had the ability and now understood what that meant. It took me forever.
Were you spending so much time trying to put it in your own words that you just didn't do what he told you to do?
Yeah.
Did you respect him and trust him?
Yeah. 100%, but I still had to figure it out.
You really are a slow burn, you backwards
I told
SOB.
you.
But you're choosing to be one.
No, it's like that's how I make myself.
Okay.
So let me tell you about concrete. Let me tell you about concrete. When you pour concrete, do you go walk on it immediately?
No.
How long does it take to actually cure and become solid?
I have no idea.
Months.
Yeah, I have no idea.
So yeah, you don't pour foundation and then throw a house on top of it. You
Okay.
have to let that concrete sit.
Okay.
So that's my whole point. I am like concrete. Once I get that stuff together, it's like done.
So
it's like, because here's the thing now, I'm literally on track to become a masterclass steel challenge shooter
yes, you
and
are.
a national champion.
100%.
I absolutely have no doubt that I will be competing in my divisions for a national champion in steel challenge.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to change the imprint from why did it take so long? I'm going to change the imprint to I'm so glad you're getting it.
Precise, finally.
Change the imprint.
Lord Jesus.
Is it sweet baby? A sweet little 8-pound baby G?
Dang, man. How long did it take me to freaking get that through your head? Jeez.
Wow. Did you hear what you just said?
What?
Say it again.
How long did it take me to get that through your head?
Listeners, did you hear that?
Yeah, it's the exact same thing he tells me.
It's very interesting. I have to think about that later on my throne of contemplation.
Here's the thing.
Let's go back. Go ahead.
You do realize we're the same person. We're just arguing from different sides of the mirror. That's what you got to remember, by the way.
That'll take me a while to think about it.
I know.
So let's talk about the journal.
All right, journal.
A lot of really unfortunate things have happened to me. A lot of great things have happened to me, but a lot of scary things have happened to me. The only time I have panicked throughout all these events, and you know what's happened to me, you know what's happened to Keita, like it's been bad.
I know.
Near death.
100%.
You know?
Yeah.
So, the only time I panicked is when I thought I'd lost my journal. Because this contains the man I am becoming.
Okay.
And there are details that I don't want to forget.
Yep.
Your book contains the shooter you're becoming.
Yep.
Here, let me just tell you. I have my best draw to first shot when I just move my hands and focus on getting my support hand to my stomach as fast as I can. I also learned I shoot the fastest when I shoot rhythmically and require precise sight pictures. I learned that I don't have to try to get M-class runs on Smoke and Hope. This is the best one. Read that one for me.
Which one?
This one.
I learned I don't have to try to get masterclass runs on Smoke and Hope. I do them effortlessly. Effortlessly.
That's the key.
I know.
Do you want to know? So keep reading.
Okay. So what I did well today, draw to first shot was perfectly fast. What that means to me is like when I write that means stop trying to do things faster and just let it happen. Because you try to do things faster in dry fire, and then whatever your physical ability is, if you have your single point of focus, will come out in the competition. Okay, so transitions were fast and snappy, but did not disrespect the sight picture in match mode, and included visual patience when needed. And this is dry fire, okay? This is not live fire. This is not training or competition.
Wait, it's not what?
Dry fire. This is the dry fire.
You said it was not training?
Live fire training.
Oh, I see.
Live fire training. Yeah.
So you said, read the last thing you wrote.
Okay.
The last little thought.
Transitions were fast and snappy, but did not disrespect the sight picture in match mode, and which means
I know. Keep going.
Okay,
Keep
yeah,
going.
yeah, and included visual patience when needed.
Perfect.
Okay. Today I crushed Smoke and Hope par times, and this is dry fire again. I ignored the timer and treated every shot with equal importance. I am becoming a masterclass shooter.
Perfect. So the last statement. So you're going to argue with me, and I expect that. But when
Setting expectations. Awesome.
no, I understand now. Like I get it.
Good.
I get it. It never occurred to me that you were intentionally disregarding my teaching until you got it in your. If you had said to me, "Hey, I understand that and I believe that. Can I please have some time to come up with it in my own words?" I would have said, "Awesome.
Okay.
Let's talk about it tomorrow."
Well, so what I need you, if you don't mind, don't say I'm disregarding your teaching, because I'm not disregarding it.
That's what it feels like to me.
Right, but I'm not doing that. That's just how it's perceived.
But you understand, I have a right to my feelings about it.
No, you got no right to your feelings. Keep going.
Divorced twice. Hasn't learned. Divorced 3 times. Has learned.
Really?
So let's make a pact.
Okay. Never get married again?
No.
That's what I'm doing.
Never get divorced again.
Okay. Oh, yeah, it's a good idea. I like that.
Okay.
God, this is going to be one interesting podcast.
I have the best mental game in the world. So if I read this right before I start training or right before I go to a match, I have the best mental game in the world. And by the way, you may not know this, but I've had a question for Lanny for a long time. Mm-hmm. In 1972, Lanny went to the Olympics, and he said, "Lanny, what do you got to do today?" And I'm going to hold my posture here because I am in imminent danger of making a loud, inappropriate noise on a podcast.
That one? That one? It's going to be that one. That loud and inappropriate noise. And please don't do that in my vault. It's like I don't want to have to put a fan in here to blow it out.
You could have provided cover.
Really?
Ooh, give us, no, Terrence Trent D'Arby.
Oh.
Do.
Yeah, it's about as good as I can get right
Oh,
now.
come on, one more. Okay, just...
Can we say retarded on this podcast? Is that a word we can say?
in that context.
Yeah, we're retarded.
How about some smoke on the water? How about something a little easier? I'll do the bass line. You keep going. Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, hey, Walther just emailed you. They're saying, screw off. You're not sponsored no more.
We're fine.
I know.
We're totally fine. Chris, I just had a conversation with Chris Long.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Long loves me.
Is he with the Walther dude?
Yeah.
Have you talked to the Walther boat dude or the
The drift car driver?
Yeah.
I'll be hooking up with him soon.
awesome?
So what you just saw, and I'm just for the record, I'm drinking water right now.
Yeah, it's water. I'm drinking beer.
Matt's drinking a beer because it's his house. He can do whatever he wants.
Yep.
If anybody thinks it's inappropriate for Matt to drink a beer during a podcast, his behavior is fine, and it's his house, and you don't have to watch the podcast. It's that simple.
Well, but also I want to be respectful of this.
are.
Is your play, and I've not been. I feel like I've not been over
no,
the top.
you're
I
fine.
feel like it's been fun, honestly.
Like people like funny movies.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Kind of
right.
This has kind of been
and so that's
really
my point.
loosey goosey.
So
and
like
fun. So yeah.
So I had a guy a long time ago. He emailed me and he goes, "Your show is terrible." He goes, "The music sucks. Your jokes aren't funny, and it's inappropriate to even infer an off-color joke, right? And like your behavior is completely unacceptable." And so I actually did a show for the guy called "This Might Not Be Your Show."
Right.
Like I don't understand why people feel the need to even write that letter.
So
it's so simple. Click.
People choose to be offended. That literally is a choice you make.
Yeah.
Because it's like literally, like you said, change the channel.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like, so this is one podcast out of my entire
Oh, there's gonna be more.
This one's a
this'll
little
be
bit.
fun.
It's a little bit off the rails. It's not even off the rails. It's a little bit lighter. So the whole purpose of this show is to give you a behind-the-scenes glimpse into the dynamic of this house.
Yeah.
Because we've been thoughtful, we've been funny, we've been 5-year-old boys. Like these are things that we do.
Yeah, we've argued like brothers literally the whole
Yeah,
day. So,
and we're gonna be fine. Like we're gonna leave the vault here, and it's gonna be fine.
Yeah, I think we're gonna Meijer or something.
Yeah, we're gonna go buy a dehumidifier, and I'm gonna buy smaller pants.
Yes, you need smaller pants.
I've been rocking the XLs. I got the Ls, and now I'm gonna go to the Ms.
Steve left like half of himself in Wisconsin.
Yeah, it was amazing. I just lost all the weight.
Yeah.
All right, so let's finish up the journal. We're just over an hour. So I would like to read a couple more from mine. Oh, you know what we should...
So you know what though?
Go ahead.
Here's the thing.
Let's hear it.
I want to read my next entry into my journal because check this out. Oh wait, maybe not.
And you know the neatest part about this? we are very similar, and our differences are being highlighted very specifically.
Oh yeah.
And the journal is working on both of us.
Oh yeah. No, it's actually I love it. I'm enjoying it. Put it that way.
Say that again.
I'm enjoying writing in my journal.
So, what advice would you have for somebody who was you before? I don't hear.
Wait.
I'll be you.
Okay, you.
I don't need that dang thing, man. I got this horrible flinch. I'm stinking up every match. I'm just going to hit it with a hammer until I make it work. I'll get out there and drive fire, do this wrong, do that wrong, and talk about my mistakes. I'll be fine.
Yeah. All right. So now I'm gonna be you. So what it is? So
Skinnier.
I have been.
Suck in your cheeks.
Is that good?
So good.
Zombie Steve. I'm Tiny Tim. Look at me. I've got a crutch over here.
Give me the crutches while you're making
Yeah, the
music.
crutch. Here's a crutch. 10,000-foot crutch. Oh God, here we go.
No, keep talking. No, you had a great point. I'm just gonna walk around.
Oh God, why are we doing this?
Keep talking.
Okay. Anyway, so
True behind the scenes.
all right, behind the scenes, I don't know what we're doing here, but
Read your journal. You were excited about it.
okay, I am excited about it because here's the thing. So I literally on our last Steel Challenge match at Bluegrass, there's Hopalong back there.
I'm doing good.
I shot my first masterclass run ever.
Nice.
And not only did I shoot a masterclass run, I shot 90%, and 95 is GM.
Yep.
And I did it so easily. I was like, holy crap. The crazy part is, so here's literally the best part for me was that
You're making me so happy right now.
I
bro.
did sub 3 second runs, the first two, then had a
Needs work.
needs work run, it netted me 4 seconds, came right back and shot 2 more sub 3 second runs, and netted me 90%, which I need 95 to make GM. And so right now I am.
And you were just looking for A class.
I was just looking for just to shoot well. I mean,
But
right
your
now,
goal was A class.
not on Smoke and Hope. I'd already got that.
Okay.
Yeah, per stage.
And how long did it take you to achieve that kind of consistency once you started working in the journal?
It took me a while for sure.
No, it didn't.
Oh, once I started the journal.
Right.
I don't know. I guess yeah.
About 2 weeks.
Yeah, I guess it started kind of snowballing after that. But my whole
Hang on, now we agree. Your self-image literally started snowballing.
oh, that's a great term. That's so good. That's good stuff.
Your
Yeah, I
self-image
like it.
started
Snowballing,
baby.
because of this.
Right, because of that.
Yeah. So, but what the thing is, so here's the fun part. So, I was super happy that I got my masterclass run, but I was even happier that I didn't let that one needs work run bother me, and I came right back and crushed it.
So
Then,
now tell us in your own words how that happened.
but wait, there's
There's
more.
more.
There's more.
Okay.
The next stage was our outlaw stage. And I was like shaking, had an adrenaline rush. I was like, holy crap. I was like, I'm just go home today after that. I was like, awesome. But the next stage was our outlaw stage, and I did the exact same, used the same process, and had great runs. And even people in my squad were saying, man, you got some really great runs on this. And we had
Did you write that in your journal?
oh yeah.
Did the peanut gallery liked it?
Yes, in fact I did.
Yes.
I think. I don't know. I'll have to look. But but the thing is one of like a friend of mine. He's pushing GM in Carry Optics. Not Rob, it's Brandon. Mm-hmm. You've not met him yet. Him and his wife, they were like, God dang, you had some great runs, and I even on Smoke and Hope like beat everybody, like literally everybody.
Now, is that ego or self-image?
Self-image.
Right.
Yeah, I have no ego. There's literally my ego is like died a long time ago.
That's not true. Ego is your sense of importance, and you do like to be important sometimes.
I do,
That's ego.
but I don't let it rule my life.
I know.
Okay, so when I say it died, I mean I squash it down and I don't let it take control of anything.
Right.
Yeah.
But so like for example,
Self-image, no, I feel like great. I
didn't-
feel like I'm a wonderful person.
that's not self-image.
Oh, okay.
Self-image is thoughts of ability, very specifically.
Okay.
Like, are you a great shooter?
Yeah.
That's thoughts of ability.
Yeah.
Okay. That has nothing to do with your value as a human being.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So, like, for example, when I was homeless and drinking myself to death, I did not like myself at all.
Yeah.
Like, I hated myself.
Yeah.
I didn't want to live.
Yeah.
But I still believed I was the best coach.
Yeah.
When I really got my shot together was when I thought, oh, this is making me a worse, whatever it is that I am, trainer, coach, consultant. Like, this is hurting me.
Yeah.
And I owe it to my clients and my friends to do better than this. It was actually you that inspired it.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it, man. It's like, I'm here to help. That's literally it.
Or argue.
Well, it's called helping. Thank you.
See? I want you to think about that later. Is arguing with people really the best way to help them?
Yeah. You know why? Because it makes them question what they're doing, and to ensure.
What if it pisses them off?
Good. Because it makes them double down and double check their freaking facts and make sure that path that they're on.
Can
is
I
good.
ask a favor? If you're going to do that to me, will you let me know ahead of time?
Okay. Well, see, if I let you know that ahead of time, then it won't have the same effect.
But I don't want to be angry at you. And if you're trying to get me to learn something, I want you to do it in a way that I'm not going to get angry.
Okay. All right.
Because I don't want to be mad at you.
Yeah. Well, you shouldn't be mad at me anyway.
You just told me you're going to piss me off on purpose to get me to examine my beliefs. I don't want to be pissed off.
Okay, I'll make sure.
I can examine my beliefs without being pissed off.
Okay.
Now, some people may not be able to, but I promise you I can.
Yeah.
A better way to get me to examine my beliefs would be to let me fail. That would be a better way.
You know what? I hate doing that. Sorry, did it again.
I could just put a language warning. It's fine.
Yeah, language warning.
I got on the episode. Let's just try to.
So I hate doing that. I hate letting people fail. I hate it because I've had so many people close to me that come to me for advice. Not that you come to me. Well, you do. Yeah. And then I'm like, hey, please do this, or please stop doing that. And then they're like, nah, heck with that. Oh, you might know. This might sound familiar. I don't know if you recognize this.
So, I would rather, me personally, I don't want them to fail, but sometimes people need to. A small failure, not a life-changing failure. Like our mutual friend, for example. Mm-hmm. When he talks to girls, he makes the same mistake every time.
Yeah.
Right? He is going to need to... let's change the subject. That's a bad example.
Anyway. No, I was talking about a different mutual friend.
Yeah,
It's like... That poor child. I'm like,
he's
really?
Fine.
Not that one. Not that one.
A different one. Okay,
one.
so
Yeah.
let's say, for example, you've got a kid that keeps going near the stove. Hey, go away from the stove. Get away from the stove. Get away from the stove. And then one day, like, it's not super hot, but it's still kind of warm. Mm-hmm. And the kid goes, ouch! I think they're going to learn more from the ouch. Because they obviously haven't learned.
Well, you know that they call people like us stove touchers. Because
I used to be a stove toucher.
Because we do that, like, it's hot! But then we have to double check. Right. So my whole point is, I'm like, hey, I have double checked. See that scar? See the scar? Mm-hmm. I've already touched the stove. This is what happens. Yeah, please don't do that.
I was trying to get you learn from my stove touching.
And I always try to get you to learn from mine. That's the whole point.
What have I not learned from yours?
Well, I don't know. Whatever I argue with you about. whatever it is that I piss you off. I didn't piss you off. It's fine. But
you can't tell when steam's coming out of my ear that I'm angry?
No, you actually do a pretty good job. You get your voice gets a little
more frustrated.
Yeah, you get frustrated.
I like
and I'm like, all right, you need to calm that down a little bit because we don't need to do that in front of people. But
all right. No, it's fine.
Yeah. No, dude.
If I didn't care, I would just let you keep doing it.
I love our freaking conversations.
All right. So
anyway,
I want you to find your favorite journal entry.
Oh, I think I just did literally.
Then hit it again.
Okay, let me make sure this was done. Yep. Okay, so I went to.
You know what might happen as a result of this?
What?
And I'll put this offer out there. I'm going to offer another. So check this out. I did a class on how to do a journal entry that cost $125 and included $200 in Hunter's HG Gold.
Yeah, I know.
So they're going to make $100 in the class.
Man,
there should have been a waiting list of 50 people.
You're blowing my mind about that.
I know. Well, you would have taken it a month ago.
I would have.
You would not.
I would have, 100%. That's no lie.
Okay, hang on.
Let
me see what's happening here.
This is going to be a very interestingly received podcast, I have a feeling.
I learned that Matt always pushes back on teaching until he can put it in his own words, and I also learned that he intentionally pisses people off.
Yeah, write that one too. Sorry, it's just me. I do that. It's a thing.
You should tell people that you're going to do that.
No, that would lose its effect. Why would I do that?
Okay, but it causes some people to hate you.
Good. If they hate me, they are like way off in another. If somebody hates me, they are not probably a good person
Well,
anyway.
we'll find out when the podcast comes out, won't we?
I guess so.
We will find out.
Yeah.
But
Because if they, so here's the thing, if you get to know me and then hate me, then that means
there is something wrong with
I
you.
have messed something up. And
No, that's a problem with them. If they get to know all the Matts and they hate you, there's something wrong with them.
100%.
Some of the Matts are rough around the edges.
Yep.
Even Keita has told me, because she listens to our conversations sometimes.
Yeah.
And she may come out like, wow, Matt's kind of rough around the edges. And then she'll say, oh, he's got a heart of gold, though.
Well,
So you are rough around the edges, but you've got a heart of gold.
that's how I was raised.
But I wrote, oh, and that's a huge factor in shooting, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
How people were raised is fundamentally affecting their self-image.
Yep, absolutely.
So, like, I had an older gentleman in class. He was probably 60 or 70, and his father was very strict and very demanding.
Yep.
Never got anything right. It was never good enough. And so now I'm asking him after 70 years of life to change that.
Right.
It's tough to do.
I know. And my girlfriend she's blowing my mind, honestly.
She's so amazing.
She is. And
I love her little southern little lip snarl that she does.
She cracks me up. But
something
the
else.
thing is she has self-esteem and self-image issues as well. But by George, when she gets into something, she's like a bulldog, and she is so good at it. And I keep my whole goal is to build her up.
Wait a second. Don't you piss her off on purpose or what she's doing wrong?
Not her. Well,
not?
no, politically, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we talk political. I kind of gig her on different things that I know I'm right
So
on.
let's go back just a second.
Okay, I need another beer if we're going to keep doing
That's
this.
up to you. We're almost done.
Oh, okay. Well,
But
I
if you're
still...
gonna get up, would you get me some water, please?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Where's the water at?
On the count.
All right.
On the
Anyway.
coffee, on Steve's coffee island and office area. Hey, you know what might be fun?
What?
Is there anything objectionable laying around in the living room in my office area?
Not that I know of.
We should end it with a tour of the area.
Sounds good to me.
All right,
I
so
don't think there's any dildos or anything.
okay, Matt, please. Okay. This podcast was done very intentionally as a humorous look behind the scenes. And Matt has wanted to do this for a long time. This is what our daily life is like, okay? That's why this podcast will be labeled differently. This is not a normal Steve Anderson podcast. This is not how all the podcasts go. This is Matt really wanted to show people behind the scenes what our personal life
I
is.
might be the funniest person you've ever met.
You have, but will you please stop it with the language?
Yes, of course. Wait, that was not foul language.
You're right. Can we please keep it a little bit more PG rated?
But how about PG-13?
We're almost done.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, let's define some terms
Okay.
because people get these mistaken.
What?
Ego. How important am I?
Well, you know, let me stop there for a second because I've been thinking about that. Believe it or not. So ego, I feel like ego is how you want other people to perceive you. Okay, cool. Self-image
Yes,
is how you.
as long as we can add, it's how important you feel.
So I think that's self-image. How important you feel to yourself.
Self-image is not important.
Okay.
It's not important.
So you know you got the ego, the super ego. And
I don't
the
know
id.
anything about those.
I know that's what I'm saying. There's other things involved
So
there.
I don't know anything about those.
Yeah.
But ego is your sense of importance. For example, after you crushed them on Smoke and Hope, would you have helped somebody change their tire?
Of course.
See, ego would not.
Right.
Ego would say,
I'm
I am
better.
the greatest shooter here. I am not worthy of helping you change your tire.
Okay, that's
that
fair.
would be ego.
All right. And again, I would have to study the whole psychology thing too. So.
But this isn't psychology.
It's literally psychology.
You're right.
Ego,
I apologize.
ego, super ego.
I don't know anything about those other two.
Self-image.
Self-image is not psychology.
It's literally psychology.
No, it's not. It's mental management.
It's but okay. Anyway,
Right.
so here's
let's define some terms.
okay. Move
Okay, ego, your sense of importance.
Yep.
Self-image, your belief in your ability.
Okay. Well, it's fire.
Now that could be psychological because it's not just shooting.
Well, it is psychological. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm
Right.
letting you do your thing here.
Right.
So
Well, I appreciate that.
yeah.
Self-esteem. self-worth. These are different things.
Yeah.
Self-esteem is, do I feel like I'm a good human being?
Okay.
Self-worth, am I worthy of somebody else's love?
Okay. Or worthy of wherever I am or anything like that. But okay, those are fair definitions. I have not gotten into the technical definitions of that, but it's all psychology.
Of course.
So that's the thing. If you ask Lanny Basham, he would like, yeah, this all the freaking basic psychology.
No.
Yeah, it's basic psychology.
Lanny Basham hates sports psychology.
He does, but the thing is, you can hate it all you want, but just like you said,
Oh, it's gravity.
mental management is gravity. He can hate it all he wants. I don't care.
That's a good point.
It's psychology.
Well, so
It's sports psychology, literally. And in fact, somebody tried to hire a sports psychologist to coach UK's team way back in the day when we had a horrible coach. And they were talking about the same stuff. And I'm like, wow, it's like if somebody would phrase that differently, like that might actually be effective.
Are you telling me that words are important and we should tailor our words to the intended audience? It's literally what you just said.
I don't know, maybe.
Okay, so
Yeah,
we need to
moving on.
wrap this up because we're running long.
But it's fun though.
Self-image is not ego, and the purpose of the journal is to build self-image.
Sure.
And it's not, you cannot one. So, did you ever read "I'm the greatest shooter in the world and a world champion"?
Oh heck no.
Right.
I'm becoming a national champion.
Right. But my point is, the self-image will not accept a violation. It can only be stretched.
Yeah, sure.
Like, I am not a marathon runner, right? But I am in the best physical shape of my life right now. Like, I really am.
Yeah.
And I'm getting ready to go work out again.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Sure.
So you see that? I'm looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember when I was trying to lose weight by literally drinking, I think, okay, how much beer and nachos can I consume and weigh 199? You remember those days? What'd you call
mean
me?
last week?
No, you called me. It wasn't last week. It was a month ago. You called me.
Okay.
I wasn't here last week.
No, but that's a joke. It's joke. Jokey joke.
So what did you call me? The human garbage disposal?
Yeah, because that's what you are. Like, you can eat everything within 4-mile radius.
I used to. That's not so much anymore.
But you're not going to.
Not anymore. I was for a while.
Right.
Because then I was so obsessed with weighing 199 that I was like, how little can I change my lifestyle and achieve this 199?
Oh, yeah.
And shooters do that all the time.
Yeah.
Shooters would say, how little can I dry fire?
Because a problem prefers a comfortable... the ego, or self-image, prefers a comfortable problem rather than an uncomfortable solution.
Right. And so what I've done now is I've gotten addicted to the process as opposed to the result.
Oh.
Works in relationships, too.
Yep.
Right? If there's a result a man wants with a woman or whatever your situation is, you could fake it and try to get a result, or you could really interested in the process of proving your value to that person.
So you're saying boyfriend chameleon type situation?
You want to avoid that.
Yeah.
Because they can see right through it.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
All right, folks, we need to wrap this up.
Let me finish reading
please
this.
do. Please
yeah, I didn't even finish this.
Listen to this. The Journal Resistor now won't leave the show without reading this journal.
Not.
I love it.
It's terrible. All right. Anyway, so the event was Bluegrass Sportsman's League Steel Challenge. All right. It was a couple weekends ago. First Saturday of the month, or Sunday of the month, whatever. Anyway. It was cloudy and cold in the morning and warm and clear in the afternoon. So, weather got great. It's typical spring in Kentucky. By the way, Kentucky is a horrible place. Never move here. California people, do not move here.
And by the way, I would highly recommend, you're very averse to cold weather. So when you do well in cold weather, I'd like to see you note that.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. Because I'm not really adverse. What
Yes,
I'm
you
averse
are.
to is rain and cold.
No, you hate the cold.
Yeah, kind of. No.
You do.
I like sleeping in the cold. It's fun.
Continue.
Anyway, you're the one that derailed this train. Come on, give me a break.
Yeah, I'm the one that messed it up.
It's him. All right. So my objective was to execute my mental process for every shot on every string of every stage. And so that is very important. Super, super important. Because what that tells me is to stay focused for every single trigger pull. And that means like focus on my process. It's like kind of, if you really want to get metaphorical about it, it's like a giant object and you're breaking it down to the electrons. It's like literally breaking it down to the electrons per object. And the giant object is the match And now I'm breaking it down to stages. And now I'm breaking it down to strings. And now I'm breaking it down to every single shot.
Dude, I love that because now I understand it. That's massive.
I know.
Good job, bro.
I'm such a philosopher.
Later we can do karate.
With this,
Bunk beds.
yeah, let's go make bunk beds. So much blood. All right. Anyway, moving on here.
Oh.
So my the percentage. Whatever. And here's the crazy part. I'm the one drinking.
This is every single day in this house.
Literally, this whole podcast is literally every single day in this podcast.
Right. This is our day.
Yeah. I mean, arguments to having fun to everything. Anyway, so if you're done,
I'm done.
Okay, good. Are you sure?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Just double checking. All right. Anyway, percentage of time I ran my mental system correctly, 60%. So I try to be fair with myself. Percentage of time I ran my technical system correctly, 80%. I feel technically I'm really getting some stuff down, so I really felt good that day. What I did today and what I learned. Today I learned I shot my best when I ignored the timer.
It's come up twice now.
It's become up a lot more, actually. That is a repeating theme for me.
Almost like it's a process.
Yeah. I think I found the key, honestly. Ignored the timer, blah, 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 plop, plop, plops. Hang on. And didn't transition the gun until I have confirmed the hit. Now, I'm at my level, I'm shooting in accuracy mode, which means I'm listening for the ding before I transition, but I'm still fast at it. So
Not quite at calling your shots yet.
Exactly.
Right.
And I'm working on that, and that's the next stage. And I'm like literally excited to move on to this next stage. Yeah. I really am. So I think it's going to be really cool because I feel like once I cross the threshold of A class, M class is like literally going to be around the corner.
You could skip it.
Yeah, no, seriously, I could. I feel like I can.
I mean, you're allowed to do that.
Yeah. So, also, I shot a masterclass run at 90% on Smoke and Hope by following my process. Mm-hmm. Like, I just did it. I just did it.
Can I hang with that just a little bit?
Yep, go for it.
Okay, read that statement again.
Okay, I shot a masterclass run, 90%, which is 85% is what required for master.
Read the statement, please.
On Smoke and Hope by following my process.
One more time.
I shot a masterclass run, 90% on Smoke and Hope by following my process.
Again.
I shot a masterclass run, 90% on Smoke and Hope by following my process.
What are you going to do next time you want a masterclass run on Smoke and Hope?
Grip it and rip it. Did you expect anything different from me? I'm going to follow my process.
Right.
Yes.
So what I did there was I just truncated the journal process.
I know you did.
So I'm telling them.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So what people don't understand is 3 months ago, that would have been a crazy idea. Hey, Matt, just follow your process. Oh, fine, whatever that means. But now he's identified and codified a process by which he can shoot M-class runs on Smoke and Hope, which is the fastest shooter in the sport.
And, no GM.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
But this is
it's fast.
Yeah. Sure. This is the point I'm trying to make. He now believes he can do it, and he knows how to do it. And there's nothing in there about going fast because you are becoming fast.
Well, and even better, when I went training yesterday or Saturday, I shot masterclass runs on 5 to go.
Did you write that down?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, and every time I talk about you in classes, because it comes up a lot, every single time, I tell people you are currently a better steel challenge shooter than I am.
Oh yeah.
I tell them that all the time. Mm-hmm. Because I'm new to the sport.
Sure.
You know, I've been injured. I haven't been dry firing very much. So you're a better shooter than I am. Mm-hmm. Like you really are in steel challenge.
Well, I appreciate that.
The only reason I've been able to beat you is because I've been a better competitor.
I know. Oh, 100%.
Now you are becoming a better competitor.
Muchly. Yes.
So proud of you, buddy.
I am proud of you. I really dude. And the thing is, maybe I don't tell you, but I really appreciate all of your help. Even if I push back and piss you off, I appreciate everything. That's why I'm like still ask you questions.
Yeah, I don't give up on people.
If I didn't want your coaching and expertise,
say tutelage because I like that word.
Tutelage.
Tutelage.
If I didn't watch tutelage, I would not keep coming back and asking you and like keep reiterating these things and talking about these things.
Sure.
So no, I appreciate all that. It's just like what I
Well,
said
now that I know that this is an intentional process, I am going to be so much cooler with it. I had no idea you did that on purpose. No clue.
Well, and when I say on purpose,
I know what you
it's
meant.
just like literally what I've done all my life. It's just like
okay.
It's like I have one tool and it's a sledgehammer.
Okay.
And
well,
then,
now that I know that, does Jennifer know that too?
oh fuck yeah.
Oh, Matt, come on, dude.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my god, PG-13 kids. PG-13. Do not let your kids.
We're gonna put a language warning on it. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. So.
Anyway, I'm not done here.
And by the way, okay, fine. But one more comment about the language. Like, this is being put out there as behind the scenes. This is how normal people sometimes talk on the shooting range.
Yeah.
I've asked him not to do it. It's a habit. We're doing the best we can.
It is a habit.
We're still gonna get a lot of good content.
And
Continue.
I do apologize.
It's okay.
I mean, you know, it's because.
Just leave it alone. Continue. Please.
Okay, moving on. Gotta do this because I feel like that's what people do when they start to read things. I feel like old people do this a lot.
Like fluff the book.
They do.
Was that called fluffing the book?
I don't know. I'm just seeing it in movies. I don't know. What's so funny? Jeez, oh Pete.
Fluffing the book. Hang on.
Am I a fluffer now?
Oh, they do. No, they do that with newspapers.
Yeah, but they do it in
fluffing
books
the
too.
newspaper. Okay, go ahead.
Like even in John Wick, the dude,
Please
the
continue.
bad guy, like puts his glasses on. He's like,
Fluffing the book.
he dialed John Wick. All right. Anyway, moving on. I shot a masterclass run, 90% on Smoking Hope by following my process. Boom. I also saw that following my process, my times were greatly reduced on other stages.
Oh, Matt, I'm so glad you read that. Okay, so now when you want to be fast, what are you going to do?
Follow my process.
Right.
Which is literally pull the trigger on an acceptable sight picture before I transition the gun.
Makes me so happy.
I know, it's amazing. I told you, it just takes me a minute.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you got there, bro.
I was always going to get there. There literally is no question.
Oh, I was never worried about you.
Yeah, no. People
I
do.
wanted to stab you with a fork, but...
Whatever. That's what happens when you literally live with yourself.
Wait till you see what I did to your drum set.
Yeah.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Yes, I was going to
Do
say it.
not
Yes,
say it.
I was going to say it.
Let the drum set joke infer it.
Come on.
No, you've been given 3 warnings. I'm going to put you in timeout.
All right. Anyway. Also, that blah, 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 blah. Saw that following my process, my times were greatly reduced on other stages. Okay. Then I wrote another thing at the bottom. If I shot in accuracy mode, the speed will take care of itself.
Perfect.
So
I
that
personally
means,
would not call that accuracy mode, but I know what it means for you. And I love
yes. So it means that what it means to me is only pulling the trigger on an acceptable sight picture.
Right.
And that means do not move that gun until, and again, working on calling shots, so it's a process. So until my right now shot confirmation is here in the ding. I'm listening for the ding fairy, moving past that, not a problem. But it is making me fast. Mm-hmm. It's like, it literally is making me fast.
Well, so I want to say something to you very respectfully.
Sure.
As part of your process.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the first match we went to, and you had not journaled yet because you weren't ready,
Right.
and you did a standing reload in steel challenge, like that happened?
I have done so many of those.
I know you used to.
I used to do so many of those.
Like you don't get an award for reloads in steel challenge. Like they're to be
Whatever,
avoided.
I'm amazing at steel challenge
So
reloads.
he literally would do a reload in steel challenge. And hang on, let me finish. I'm going to give you a compliment.
Okay.
Okay. And because you were every shooter on the planet, like you were.
Yeah.
You were the embodiment of the old dogma that people are laboring under. So, and knowing what you know now, think about watching a new shooter. Jennifer, for example. Jennifer is shooting, and she's doing a standing reload on every stage. And then you leave the match, and she goes, "I got to work on my first shot." What are you going to say to her?
I'm like, no, you just need to work on having clean rounds.
Right.
Yes. Now, granted, so give me a little bit of leeway. Give me a little leeway. I shoot single stack. So it's like 9 rounds. And so sometimes if you're like all of a sudden getting the bad spot and like you run a mag drive, whereas with limited a double stack, you've got 21 rounds.
I understand that.
But I am working my butt off in training by only loading 6 rounds.
Oh, that's so great. I didn't know that.
I told you that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yes.
That makes me so happy, bro.
I know,
Good
seriously.
job. But the point I'm trying to make is many shooters would
Focus on the wrong thing.
Right, exactly.
Right,
And the other thing with that specifically is they think it's a training problem. It's not. You thought that for a long time.
Yeah.
Doing a standing reload, like taking more than 9 shots to shoot 5 plates, you can't fix that in training.
Yeah, you're right.
That's a mental thing.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, it isn't that you can't make the shot.
Right.
It's that you're choosing to do something else.
Yeah. Or whatever's going on. Yeah. And I fixed it. It's fine.
did.
I fixed it. It's done. So anyway, I'm not done.
Oh.
You keep interrupting me.
Fluff it.
Jesus.
It's my show.
Jesus.
Please, Matt.
Jesus. How's that? Is that better? Jesus.
We need to wrap this up. Please continue.
If I shoot the accuracy mode, the speed takes care of itself. What I did well today, I shot at least B class on most stages by following my process, which actually
That's process 4
consistency
times now.
is awesome. So consistency for me
Was elusive.
even when I throw, yes, extremely, because I would shoot great on one stage and then shoot like barely C, close to D on others. So being consistent across every stage is very important.
And how'd you get there?
Process.
That's 5.
Process. What?
That would be like we know how to make ice, you know, and then trying 6 different ways to make ice, except the way that we know works. What if I get some antifreeze, put it in there? What if I put some salt and use base, make a metal? I don't know. Or we could just freeze the water. It'd be fine.
Yeah.
All right, we need to wrap this up. So.
All right. Anyway, last thing. Shot a masterclass round on Smoke and Hope. I followed my process. I am becoming a masterclass shooter and a national champion.
Nicely done, my friend. All right, so the last thing we're going to do is I'm going to tell you that if you want your goal and you are not keeping a journal correctly, you are not doing everything you can to reach your goal. Yes, you can become a national champion without keeping a journal. But if you're not a national champion already and you're not keeping a journal, this will help. Okay?
Same thing.
Now, what advice do you have for somebody who's reluctant about doing this? Because the reason we're doing this, you were every shooter in the world.
Yeah.
Conscious control of speed, overthinking, extra tension, rush, try, hurry, lack of it. Like, you were every shooter in the world, and now I'm so proud of the shooter that you're becoming.
Yeah.
So tell people why they should do this.
It will get you out of all that. It's like you have to. The hard part is giving into it. The
Yes.
hard part is like subscribing to it. Yes. How's that? It's like you'll think it's not making a difference, and you'll think it's like not helping you. But then what will happen? 100% will happen.
My favorite part of this.
You will feel it happening.
Your self-image, you'll feel it.
Something you'll feel it, and
Let's
you'll
call
be
it self-image.
Yeah, you like will
Confidence.
You will. There you go. You will like all of a sudden be like, oh my goodness, I just did that. Okay, let me write that down. I'm like, oh my goodness, I did that again. Like, and then you go back to your journal and you're like, how did I do that? Like, oh, ... And then you're like, that journal releases is that feeling back to you again. It's kind of like, and I know it's like Steve doesn't maybe like this language, but to me it's a box where you can put all those positive feelings and
exactly what it is.
self-imprints, and then you open it up anytime you want.
And they're still there.
And they're always
Dude,
there.
That was so perfect. That was worth the bad language. That was perfect. And I'm going to give you a great compliment on what you just said right there.
Yeah.
I could not have said it better myself.
Yeah.
The way I talk about it is, I talk about imprints as being ammunition in your ammo box.
Yeah.
And so all of your thoughts of ability go in this box. Mm-hmm. And when you go to the match, you load them into the gun and they come out your barrel.
Yep.
So I can't, I won't, I didn't, flinch, trigger pull, right? That's ammo that goes in your mag.
This box, this journal is a box.
Can I finish
Oh,
mine?
yeah, sure. Sorry,
Okay.
Polly.
Now let's look at it a different way. I can do this. I had a personal best. My process is working. That is ammunition you can put in the ammo box that can come out of. It's the same box.
Yeah. So
Mine just has ammo in it.
just think of it this way. So if you
He's
want
going to tell me how to think of it. I love this.
No,
Go
it's
ahead.
even better. So it's something that more people can relate to a little better, honestly.
My favorite thing about living with Matt Adams is being lectured about mental management, dry fire, and guitar playing. You're doing it wrong!
Whatever! So, my whole point, so something that people can maybe relate to better. So check this out. So it's a box of awesome feelings that you can open up and feel anytime you want. Because to me, that is like, when I feel that, it's like, that's when I shoot my best.
Right. Self-image.
Yeah.
You crushed the old SOB. Now you're on the same page.
And it feels good. So
Self-image.
open a big box of feelings.
Self-image.
That's what this is.
Good. All right. Do you want to do a new catchy catchphrase for our... it's normally Get to Work. Do you have another one you'd like to propose?
Get her done. I know you love that one.
I love it.
No, we don't want to do that because that's like...
All right, folks. Until we meet again on the range, on the Zoom, on the podcast, in the gym, or anywhere else, be like us and give us your faith and trust and get off the struggle bus.
Ah, that's good. I like that.
Okay, let's try it again. Be like us. Give us your faith and trust and get off the struggle bus.